how do we do and deal with diversity, equity, inclusion, and get stuff done in mixed company? I think, honestly, one of the problems we have is just shut up culture, right? Somebody says there's a historical injustice, somebody's saying shut up, that all happened in the past. Somebody's saying there's a contemporary injustice, someone's saying shut up, that all, like quit playing the race card. And there's an effort to suppress the conversation, which will never heal us or make space for the healing. By the way, everybody's hurting and everybody needs healing, and there is a stress and difficulty with every side of the work. So like, some of this has to do with coming to terms and understanding and then embracing a little bit of discomfort. So one of the things that's tough for white folk is fear. Fear of offending somebody, fear of exposing an ignorance, fear of getting beat up around the ears for the sins of one's ancestors. And that fear has people kind of timid and in their turtle shell and leaning out and so forth. And it's difficult for a lot of white folk because it's kind of like been highly insulated from racial discomfort. It's getting harder to stay isolated from racial discomfort as we become more diverse and the issues are better articulated and more in your face than previously. But you, like most white Americans, have a racially homogenous favorites list on their smartphone. We're still pretty segregated. And you can travel the world and someone will accommodate you and speak to you in English. So there's a certain musculature that gets exercised in mixed company that's not getting exercised enough. As a result, it's like you've skipped leg day for life, and now somebody wants you to go to the gym for leg day. And they're telling you it's good for you. But the thought sounds horrible. And you might have even tried it one day, and it didn't feel good at all. And so it's like, I'm gonna go home and watch Netflix. But don't skip leg day. That's the message for white folk. Don't skip leg day. Go to the gym. It's good for you. And I cannot promise it'll feel good. It might not feel good. But if you keep going, you can acclimate to it and it can actually start to feel good. And above all, you're getting stronger. And then you're ready to do your part of the lift. For people of color, it's a different message. There, people are dealing with frustration, anger, and exhaustion. Like, do I really have to explain it again? And patiently wait again when we don't get to live as long? Come on. And so there, the message is, yeah, you do need to explain it again. You can't chase everybody away from the table and complain about eating alone. You got to go to the gym too, and you got to spot people. And that's part of the lift. And that also will be exasperating. You can't just coddle everyone else's discomfort because they've been so insulated from leg day, but we do have to do our part of the lift. We have to have an awareness of this. And with the awareness, like, you heard the saying, hurt people hurt people. Well, everybody's hurting. Everybody is hurting, and they're lashing out on all sides. White men dominate the ranks of school shooters and serial killers. White folk need healing too. It's not just projecting the blame. We inherited this world. It's not a blank canvas. We'd all paint a different picture. It's one that's been painted on for thousands of years. We can add to the painting, and it can shape and change it, but it can't reinvent it from the very beginning. Here we are. And I don't know how much you want me to go off on this one, but You might remember before the last election, Biden actually gave this apology for residential boarding schools. And you would think that would be like positively well received by the Native community, and it wasn't. Like some people thought, okay, but a lot of people were frosted. Like, this is 2 weeks before an election, it's political opportunism. Why didn't this happen 150 years ago and every year ever since? Was one of the complaints. Another one was, why didn't you even just sit there for one day and listen to the stories of the people in your audience who had been through residential boarding schools and then get up and say, that was horrible, I'm so sorry, we're gonna do something different. You know, why didn't you release Leonard Peltier, himself incarcerated, a residential boarding school survivor? Why wasn't this accompanied by restorative justice actions? And you have no moral authority to do anything because you just funded the killing of an entire classroom of children every day for a year and a half straight in Gaza. Those are some of the critiques. But at the same time, I was thinking something different. Like, my grandmother went to residential boarding school. I think it would have meant something to her to hear a US president say, what we did to you was not okay. I would never compel someone to embrace an apology if they're not ready for it, but I would never force somebody to repudiate one if they are. If a little bitty baby starts toddling around, taking their first tentative steps and they wipe out, we don't say, shame on you. You can do better than that. I'm not even gonna look at you for a year until you get that all the way right. No, we say, good job, baby, keep it coming, you can do it, let's go. America is an emotional toddler. It is, it's an emotional toddler. And you could distill most of the political conversations to like, my dad's bigger than your dad. My inauguration's bigger than your inauguration. Like, adults? Can we do adulting? But it's not just childish stuff. It causes genuine harm. And so, all journeys start with first steps. So I'm thinking, all right, Joe Biden, first step. Good job, baby, keep it coming. Don't stop there. Now let's do the other things. A little bit of discomfort is good for you. That's leg day. It's like the opposite of our Minnesota nice, like, get a new neighbor, drop off a casserole, give them their space. Lean in. Embrace the discomfort. Do your part of the lift. All of us need to do our part of the lift. And all of that lifting will make us stronger, and then we can go somewhere. If white folk want to be free from the finger pointing and the blame game and the discomfort of all of these conversations, the same thing that sets them free elevates the condition of everyone who's been oppressed. Like it or not, the only way through this stuff is together.